Yeah, I might have tried to belt that a little more, but it's late and there are people like doing other things, and my dad's trying to sleep, so I'm like, I gotta be at least a little considerate of the people in the room. But Tomorrow Never Dies. I actually forgot to even get the IMDb up for this one. But Tomorrow Never Dies. There we go. Tomorrow Never Dies came out in 1997. What actually it was 1 year? No, it was 2 years. Sorry, it was 2 years after the return of Bond with GoldenEye. This time we have Bond fighting a media mogul who's basically trying to get broadcasting rights in China, who's like the only place that won't broadcast to him. He's just obsessed with his image and the media. Played by Jonathan Pryce. Your Bond girl in this time around is Michelle Yeoh, but she's a Bond girl that we know Bond ends up with, but he doesn't get any love scenes with. Like they kiss briefly at the end, but there's no like love scenes with him or with her. And Terry Hatcher though is the other Bond girl who he is involved with. Um, and this is like the oddball. This is like the not the black sheep, but this is like the weird child in the group of four. Because I always remember like of the three I own. I own GoldenEye, I own World's Not Enough, I own Die Another Day. Those are the big three of the four that I own. But this one I never picked up, and I think it's because I never actually saw any of the other Bonds in theaters. Um, but this one always just kind of exists to me. And I feel bad saying that because it's really not a bad. I'm like, none of the Pierce Brosnan ones are that bad. I'll say this, Die Another Day, when we talk about that one, it's probably the hokiest of them. But none of these are terrible. They're all fun. Some of them are legitimately good. Some of them are legitimately great, I think. Ranking in, I think, some of the higher realms of the Bond films. But yeah, for some reason, this one just doesn't stand out like the other ones do. Well, GoldenEye, it was the first time James Bond to come back in 5 years with a new Bond. Of course, that stands out. World Is Not Enough stands as a really good, just like a really solid Bond film. Obviously, Halle Berry, um, Halle Berry being in Diamonds, Diana or Day, Madonna being there. There's a song like yeah, think another that all stands out. But yeah, the Sheryl Crow song. I mean, I remember it. Honestly, the thing about the Sheryl Crow song is there's a better rendition of this song at the end of the movie during the credits. In my opinion, that would have worked better for the intro. But because of the more modern aesthetic this Bond went for at the time, given what modern was at the time, they felt to go with more of these more techno-y kind of things or more rocky techno than like the orchestra. Just adjusting my seat. There we go. And don't get me wrong, it's like dun 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 dun. Don't get me wrong. Dun 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 that away. It's like it's still a good song, but it's like you had a better version of it. The movie as a whole, I think one of the reasons that this one just kind of escapes me a lot of times is because I kind of find it a little oddly paced. With Die Another Day, it's paced, I feel like, extremely well. Starts with him getting caught in North Korea, and he gets out. He goes to Rio for a little while. Then he spends most of his time in England, and then once more in like Russia. But it all kind of flows well. It gels well. GoldenEye is the same way. World Is Not Enough is the same way. This one feels like there's the main act. There's the opening scene, which is a great opening scene. With him like saving the bombs on the jet fighter. But then there's him dealing with Carver, like and then you go to China, if I'm not mistaken, Hong Kong. I can't remember that. That's where the story. There's only two big locations when you think about like main location, China Sea, all that, but there's only two like real areas we go to in this movie. And like Bond tended to travel a bit more in the movies, and I feel like, but that's the thing is that even when he didn't, it's like there's usually two or three locations minimum where you go, where the main story takes place in your first, second, and third act, and the second and third act kind of take place within the same general location. It doesn't feel like we're moving very much, and I think that's the problem with um, something like this where it takes place at sea because he's on the stealth boat. Eh. That I think also gets a little hokey for me. Um, so I feel like that's a bit of an issue. But for all the griping I'm doing, I still very much like this movie. Pierce Brosnan is still great as Bond. He is one, probably, like I said, of the six main Bonds, Connery, Dalton, Craig, Brosnan, Moore, Lazenby. Yeah, he's my third favorite. He definitely stands out. Um, and again, no disrespect to Dalton, no disrespect to the Moore films I actually like. It just he's my third favorite, no problem. And he sells it. He does. When he's got to do the emotional side, like when we see him with not Elliot Carver, that'd be hilarious. He was actually involved with Jonathan Pryce. You could I don't know if what is the gay equivalent of a womanizer? I'm just wondering. Like I don't think we'd ever see a gay Bond, but you're not. There's nothing to say you couldn't have a character who is in essence James Bond, but homosexual. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's like, wait, what is the equivalent? Paris Carver. That was it. When he has his scene with her, where clearly they had a relationship, and unlike a lot of his love interests in the past, he clearly had feelings for her. Like, because we know this Bond is still a Bond who was married one time, because we see him at one point looking over, I think, a grave at one point, and I think it's either World Is Not Enough, or maybe this one. No, I think it's World Is Not Enough, and I think we barely address it. But I believe 007 still it has been married in this universe, whereas Daniel Craig's has not, because he's still a younger, different Bond. But think words. But the fact is that it's cool. It's actually cool to see a Bond actually have emotional attachment to someone, and he's legitimately kind of heartbroken to see what happened to her and how she ended up. So I thought that was, and I like that scene too, where you get the what was the name of it? Hold on, what was his name? Dr. Kaufman, played by Vincent Schiavelli. Schiavelli. I did like that. I am a professor of French medicine. I could shoot you from Stuttgart and still create the proper effect. It's like, unfortunately, Mr. Bond, you will be, my ear, stop yelling in my ear. It's like, fine, I'll ask him. This is very embarrassing, but there's a box in your car we need to get to, and unfortunately, it's locked. I don't know what to say. Like that scene is both tense because he could kill Bond right there. I am to torture you if you do not tell us. It's like, is this, you got a doctor in that too? No. This is more of a hobby, but I am quite gifted at it. I'm like, I like that character. So, and it is cool that he doesn't come back, but it's fair that he doesn't come back. It's like, I'm only a professional doing a job. So am I. That's just, that's cold. Yeah. That's like, ooh, when you piss Bond off, you are effed. I just love it when you can see like Bond be particularly like just brutal. And then I love the whole thing that he drives the car, and especially when M just shows up. It's like, it's about as difficult. Well, let me see if she responds to my touch. RQ, and it's grow up 007. And basically he just sends it off the end of a parking garage. I love how he does that too. Just oh man, it's a lot of fun. It is. There is a lot of fun to be had in this movie. The motorcycle chase, the actual climax on the boat it's a lot of fun. Absolutely. I like the Billy Idol-esque henchman he has. Who played that guy? Okay, hold on. Stamper. I think it's Stamper. That's the name of the character. Goes Otto. I believe that's him. Yeah, Goes Otto. Was the name of the actor. Basically, this Billy Idol looking son of a bitch. Even though I was kind of dissing on it a little bit, and pointing out flaws isn't dissing. But I was pointing out flaws earlier. I really do have a lot of fun whenever it's on. If it's on, I'll stop and watch it. I'll put it on in the background, just have it going on, because it is a fun Bond movie. Is it up there in like the best? Because remember, we have about 25, 26 when No Time to Die finally comes out. Bond films right now. I don't know. Like, I can think of at least 2 or 3 Sean Connery movies that might. Well, no, I can think of at least 2 Sean Connery movies that'd be in the top 10. Several of the Daniel Craig ones. At least one of the more ones even, and a couple of the Brosnan. So I don't know. Maybe this one would be in the top 10. I don't know. I would have to, when I eventually do the list, I'll have to figure that out. But ultimately, I really like this one. Is it one of my favorites? I don't know if I go that far, but I do stop and watch it when it's on. That's one thing I can say about the Pierce Brosnan era movies, more so than even like the Roger Moore, or in some of the cases, even the Sean Connery ones, is that I find these really rewatchable. These ones, and I think it's just because they came out during my generation. I was born tail end of the 80s, so I grew up in the 90s, and this is when these films are coming out. So I think that's kind of ingrained in me to like this style of filmmaking. Um, maybe that's me. But anyway, that's my thoughts on this film. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you just like it? Or do you just not your cup of tea? Let me know in the comments below. But hit that bell if you want notifications. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. And today I should also have the what if up today as well. So thanks for watching. Obviously these are pre-recorded, but it's Saturday when this is coming up. I'll see you next time. Later, folks.